Welcome, folks. This is the crazy one, Twisty. That's right, a Twisted Myth radio over at atwistedmyth.com. We are trying a nice little broadcast here with something called Wirecast Go. Hopefully, we have a better signal. And tonight, we're bringing you a little short review of Icon 32, which was last weekend, which we actually tried to broadcast from Brentwood campus, but apparently public Wi-Fi doesn't have the best signal. So we're going to try to bring you a little something tonight. Now, hopefully you guys on our YouTube channel could listen and watch. We're going to keep it short and brief, hopefully, and see where it goes from there. Now, last weekend, after a 5-year hiatus, Icon 32 returned to Brentwood. It's got mixed ratings, folks. I'm going to tell you, if you look on their Facebook page, there's some people that are giving it a downer. There are some that are okay with it. Please, by all means, comment on this video your experiences, whether good or bad. But if you have bad reviews, I'm going to ask you all to please behave. Watch your language. Remember, these are folks that are trying their hardest to bring back the convention for you, the fans. So if you guys are going to sit there and flame them and bitch at them, why should they bother to continue? Now, 5 years ago, they actually were at, for Icon 28, they were in Brentwood campus. Then they went back to Stony Brook. There were little problems here and there. I don't remember the gist of it. And for those of you who aren't aware, we have been at Icon for roughly 10 years covering it. So we've seen a lot. We've seen different board members come and go, different actions. I will say that this review I'm giving, yes, it's a little biased because I remember what Icon was like at Stony Brook. The massive people, the massive lines, the massive amount of publicity before the convention went in. Now, Icon returned this past weekend, March 17th weekend, St. Paddy's Day weekend, and it looked like a lackluster event. I will say that. There were a lot of people there, but we'll get into that in a minute. Coming in, we went all 3 days. We were invited back as press, which was very nice of them to have us back as press. And we only met one other person as a press representative there. A lot of staff photographers. But we mingled, met a lot of cosplayers. You guys will hear audio from an interview we had with Jessica Lynn and Tribal Fusion. I'm having a little issues with my video software, and I'm going to try to get that up and out before the weekend's over, so this way you guys have it. We also have a lot of news coming up, which you'll find on atwistedmyth.com and our blog site, as long as a printed review of Icon 32. But, okay, generally, walking into the convention, it did not look good. Getting there on opening day and not seeing a line. I'm sorry, there was a line. There was about 5 people ahead of us. I don't know why. I'm not a board member. I have nothing to do with Icon. I don't know what happened, but that right away gave me a little willy feeling. Walking into the vendor room, which blew my mind because I'm used to, you gotta remember, folks, we're used to the giant vendor rooms at Stony Brook. So walking into a track at Brentwood campus and having it be, how should I say, same size but only roughly 3 aisles of vendor stuff was a little scary. There wasn't the usual amount of games, no videos whatsoever. And it was a little, not even any anime. So it was a little scary. Then, when you go past the first 3 vendor aisles, they had what I like to call a kingdom area. You had some kingdoms, you had Demon Boy, Kingdom of Avalon, Tribal Fusion, along with Artist Alley, uh, Beautiful Seamstress, and what they call the demonstration ring and the performance ring, because they did everything inside. Beyond that, there was curtains set up with little spaces, and these were little individual classrooms for panels. Now, I'll admit we went to the first panel in there on a Friday night, which was Cosplay on a Budget, hosted by Miss Skellington. Very nice, attractive young lady. But I felt bad for her because due to all the noise in the track and no microphone, she had to try to raise her little tiny voice so the 5 of us sitting in the panel could hear it. So I felt a little bad for her. But beyond the space, there was the gaming section. And from what I understand, there were situations beyond their control that they couldn't have a video game room. So it was mostly maybe 30 tables set up. There was 1 game per day of Dungeons and Dragons going on, 1 board game going on, and about 7 or 8 card games that were going on. It threw me for a loop because I didn't expect to see that few people there. The big crowds from going by the parking lot seemed to be in the panels. Now, I've had this question and this problem with a lot of conventions, with Icon, Comic-Con, everything. They always sit there and they'll post the guests, they'll post the panels after people have bought tickets. And there are a lot of cancellations, which no one's at fault for that. No one can control it. You people got to give these guys at Icon a break. No one can control what a celebrity does. But I was a little disappointed with no media guests. And Icon has always had media guests. So I don't know if maybe they didn't have it in the budget. Because you remember, Icon is not for profit. Okay, from the way I think it works is they lay out the money to rent the space. Then they charge memberships to try to earn that money back. They don't make any kind of money off the convention. And if you ate in the little cafe there, you know what I meant. $20 for a hamburger? Come on. All right, I'm sorry, $6 for a hamburger. But still. I mean, we had chicken nuggets, me and Magenta, and it was 2 things of chicken nuggets and 2 bottles of water. It was $17. So they're not making a killing on money. So for those of you who think they're doing it for money, stop, get it out of your head. These people don't get paid. They're all volunteer. And if you want to sit there and bitch and gripe, go to Comic-Con. See how much worse it is there. Because believe me, if you want to get into a debate on Icon versus Comic-Con, I'm your guy. Because I can tell you all this shit that goes down at Comic Con that the public doesn't know about. But we're not talking about that shithole. We're talking about Icon. Now, I'm assuming there wasn't much. There was like one little blurb on News 12 Long Island a couple of days before the convention. There was an article in Newsday on the convention, but there wasn't much advertisement about the convention. Maybe that hurt them. I don't know. But walking around the floor, there wasn't that many people there at all. I mean, I could have laid down on the floor and sprawled out and took a nap for an hour and not once be worried about getting walked on. But I digress a little. Those of you who know past icons know. Our friend Alexia Anastasio, she grew up on Icon just as like I did. So a lot of us grew up there. Kevin, Debbie, a lot of people. And to sit there and bash them, I mean, anyone could do it. It's very easy to bash. But to sit there and actually look what goes into it, these people giving up their time to work on a convention for you, and they're not getting anything but the feeling of doing something good. Now, we met a lot of cosplayers, a whole bunch. And as I told you, we had 2 interviews with Jessica Lynn and with Tribal Fusion. Now, I'm not saying Jessica's last name because I just wouldn't do that. But we are going to be bringing more from her. And we're going to be bringing more interviews. And we're going to be posting the interview live on this channel or on our atwistedmyth.com website or on the blog. We were going to broadcast the show on Blog Talk Radio, but they changed prime time from 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. And I'm sorry, folks. Even though it's only an hour from now, I can barely stay awake that long. But Icon 32, it was a great return. My opinion is they need to do more advertising before it's coming out. They need to do it and get more media guests. They need to do it and try to schedule it around the nicer weather. I mean, hey, it was at Brentwood campus. I don't know. It doesn't seem like there was anything going on. So the campus was pretty much dead. Do it when the nicer weather comes and you'll probably get more people out that will enjoy it and have fun with it. Of all ages. They need to do that. They need to come up with a gaming area. And I'm not talking about video games, folks. Because most of you know the only video games that matter are computer MMOs and Dota 2. But for those who disagree with me, a video game area isn't a bad idea. But I couldn't tell you what happened. I mean, we went into the usual hentai to see a little anime DVD, and that had a few issues. Felt bad for the poor guy running it. And then the biggest draw of the evening, which I have to say, 3 big draws, was a Shadowcast. Phenomenal Shadowcast. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just go and poke Nicole Olivia and ask her, what Shadowcast was that Icon? She was involved in a Shadowcast for Repo Genetic Opera. It was fantastic. The Shadowcasters were all on cue. It was fun. They improv'd a little bit here and there, which made the show even more fun. Then they had shadowcasting of sorry about that, shadow casting for Rocky Horror Picture Show, where Magenta got to see her first Rocky Horror. And then, and if that wasn't enough, Voltaire was there and was live. And it was packed for all three. Now, the funny thing is, Voltaire did a performance, not a performance, but he discussed his new TV show on his YouTube channel, Gothic Homemaking with Voltaire. It's a different show. It's interesting. It's all based out of his own apartment. And he takes you through different Gothic homemaking plans. And he actually helps you, shows you how to make it. That was a very big draw. He also, let's see, the night before he did some performances, but this was Voltaire, so it's always guaranteed to be packed. But we just don't know what happened. We don't know where all the people were, but we're hoping by next Icon, everything is better and the crowds will be bigger. Now we're going to leave you with that. Please comment on this channel. Good and bad. Just remember, don't flame anyone. Please. Just post your comments, good to bad, what you thought about the convention if you went. Suggestions on what they could have did differently. We'll pass them along to Kimbra and the rest of the staff. For myself and Kimbra, for myself and Magenta, I want to thank Kimbra and the Icon staff for taking us in and welcoming us. And with that, folks, we're actually going to cut out for now, but we'll be back soon. So with that, we want to bid you adieu until next time. Check out our website also, atwistedmyth.com. You can access our blog from there, archives, as well as a ton of other stuff. Just don't go by the date on the update page because I changed the page. I forgot to change the date. So, with that, we're going to bid you adieu.